Well, hello there. Um, I am fighting the urge to be ironic about these things. In the back of my mind, just being a jerk. I want to start it out with like brothers and sisters, and then have the pipe organ playing in the background. Not, not for any, excuse me, not for any sake of like true irony, but sort of as an homage to my friend Mike up in Massachusetts because he was going to be something like the Jesus of firearms or something. I don't know. He had this idea for a channel that I thought was just downright brilliant. Before you see a website here, blueletterbible.org. Let me see if it'll zoom in. No, it won't zoom in on the actual, what you call it. I ended up using the Blue Letter Bible quite a bit back in the day. Um, as a resource just for the sake of, and you'll see it here in a second, it it lays out. Dang it! Oh, I'm getting the froggy in my throat, but we're gonna have to push through. Um, it lays out a lot of resources such as the Strong's Concordance and some of the other Vine stuff, and you can get a lot whenever you're doing an expository Bible study by looking at word for word just what each word means. And there may be some better resources out there, but Blue Letter Bible um, for me was a good resource because it was just all on tap. Um, I found the name Blue Letter Bible was catchy as well uh, because I saw it as sort of a play off of the like Red Letter Bible, which for those of you who don't know and those of you brave enough to stick around for this stuff, um, Red Letter Bibles are whenever the Bible has an area where Jesus, the Christ, spoke, it was written in red. And some of the some of the criticisms towards that is that the things that the man spoke weren't any more important than anything else in the Bible, so they didn't necessarily deserve that type of emphasis. Now, myself as a younger Christian, I enjoyed it. Um, I learned the most from just the parts in red, and you can get a lot of the you can get a lot of the points of what's going on with that just by the red letter. But anyway, Blue Letter Bible in its new format. We're not going to do Blue Letter Bible Classic, which it'd be sort of fun to show you what I used to use, but here we are using it today in one of my favorite books. Not that anybody should have um, a favorite part of the Bible per se. Let's get into the King James Version. Ooh, maybe we will go to Classic. Okay, this is all set up differently. We're going to switch to Classic here. Maybe it'll be all pixelated and stuff. Yeah, there we go. That's what it used to look like. 1 John. Searching. Now, yeah, here we go. King James Version, real quick. Why I myself used King James Version for study, personal study. Um, it's difficult. King James Version is difficult because it's in a different language than the one that I speak, being the old King's English. It's also difficult because King James Version is a distraction to people in some cases because of the introduction, which is beautifully written in the King James Bible. But it's that translation has garnered some criticism lately. Maybe not lately, but in this atheistic renaissance that we're experiencing in this country right now, in that the belief, the secular belief, is that King James had influenced the translation of the Bible. Um, Certain things, such as in the book of Romans. Let me see if I can get to it. Where's this search? I got it zoomed in too far. Uh, in the book of Romans, it has a section. I think is it Romans 8? Romans 8 has a section of where it talks about, you know, I'm so rusty. I don't deserve to be doing this. Um, about how like a king is given authority over people and stuff like that. So people have cherry picked certain areas of the book, um, and have used that as criticism for for against a certain translation. Now, in my opinion, whenever it's cherry picked and criticism is leveled against it, I think it's sort of used as a tool to neglect what the point of it is. Like, oh well, there's this bias, so therefore there must be nothing of value. Which the irony of somebody saying something like that is, oh well, you came to a self-fulfilling prophecy. You knew this book was going to be a waste of time, and you found that it is a waste of time. Or you knew that these beliefs were incorrect going into it, and oh look, lo and behold, these beliefs are incorrect. So it your brain ends up being into a mode of just a weird situation. Now, cool thing about Blue Letter again is, let's say, Kings. Is it Kings? You can do like a word search, which normally back in the day we would just have our Strong's concordance to go along with, or um, we would have to actually look it up within the Bible itself, like a concordant Bible, when they have a bunch of stuff in the little margin saying where the next time this word is mentioned. People like Professor Strong put in a lot of work to give those roadmaps of how the Bible works, or how these different words show up. And you'll see it in sermons. I believe it's taught in many seminaries. Um, it's how some pastors were trained and have developed messages, based on a certain subject. The subject would be a word such as a king, and you have all these different resources. So let's say um, you did want to have your sermon about a king. You say you'd want to talk about all the kings in the Bible. You got Amraphel, Arioch, blah blah blah. Um, Somehow kings are important in the Bible, as it leads to like main authority figures. So if you were doing an expository teaching on kings in the Bible, then you would just have all of these little blurbs that you could draw upon. Now, I briefly touched on why the King James version um, is different, um, or why I would do the King James version in personal expository study. Again, it's because of the Strong's concordance, which I have a long form Strong concordance in hardcover over here on the shelf, and um, it uses the Old English King James words for its definitions. So where the modern word for thou would be you, it would be translated. When I look up in the Strongs, I got to search for thou, not you. So it just became more convenient in study for me just to learn King James English and to translate it accordingly. Um, Now that's not mutually exclusive to the different resources that I have, but if you take and here's why, and I'll just show it right now. We're doing King, so here's a link to the Hebrew, and you see that H4428 right there. That's actually the Strong's number, and I could look up 4428 in the Hebrew section of my Strong's Concordance, and this is what it would show. It shows the Hebrew word, um, and it gives just the definition. Let's see, masculine noun from whatever that is in Hebrew, outline of biblical usage, king. Um, Lectionis. um, Strong's number matches, which occurs 0 times in the 1922 version. Anyway, I think you get the idea. I could get a better word. Um, but here's the other cool part is it gives you an etymology, which you could use to further advance the study if you were Malek. How could I forget Malek? Um, anyway, this is my blurble about Blue Letter Bible. It's an interesting resource. I don't think I'd ever donated to Blue Letter Bible. Oh man, who did I? Who did I donate to back in the day? Um, what's the other one? I don't even remember. Wow, I'm so terrible. Funny how after a while you end up with that fog that clouds, you know, what you've been through or the truth. All right. So concludes Lambdog Sunday School. Hope you enjoyed it. These will get better. If you'd like to hear me talk about anything or answer any questions from anyone, I'm all ears. We have a lot of content still to put out, so any help that I can get is much appreciated. And thank you for watching, and we'll catch you on the next Daily Dose of Lamb.